Hey, boys and girls, I want to share with you Coronavirus, a book for kids, written and illustrated by R.L. Margolin. You are probably hearing many people talk about the coronavirus. Your routines are also starting to change. Like many kids, you have questions about the coronavirus. How are things going at your sister's hospital? This guy asked his friend. They are all working really hard to help sick people. People are coming in sick with the new coronavirus. And even on the news, they're talking about social distancing and how that can help stop the coronavirus. And the two girls on the swing. My cousin is in quarantine. Her friend has COVID-19. I think you should throw that cookie out. The floor is full of germs. This friend of his just dropped her cookie on the floor. And so sometimes we use that 3 or 5 second rule, and it's probably not a good idea right now. So what is the coronavirus? You have probably heard about germs. Coronavirus is a kind of germ. Germs are everywhere. People have been living in a world full of germs for a long, long time. There are germs that you've probably heard of, like E. coli. And it says, you know me as bathroom germs. I've been hanging out on unwashed hands since the olden days. The measles virus. When your great-grandparents were kids, everybody caught me. Now there is a vaccine for me, and I can't make a vaccinated body sick. The white blood cells in our bodies are ready to handle many kinds of germs, and we have medicine to help people with many illnesses. Coronavirus is a new germ, so doctors are just learning how to help people who catch it. We want to slow the spread of this new germ to give doctors and scientists time to find a cure. Like they've already come up with a long time ago, back in 1954, they came up with a vaccine for polio. And measles back in 1963. And the hepatitis B vaccine came out in 1981 when I was a little girl. And the coronavirus, or COVID-19, doctors and scientists are still researching right now, trying to come up with a vaccine or a cure for it too. Even with all those white blood cells protecting our bodies, sometimes we need help handling germs. The doctor may help a sick person with medicine taken at home, or may bring a sick person to a hospital to use special machines and stronger medicines. If you find out you've been near someone sick with coronavirus, you might need to stay home in a quarantine for about 2 weeks. This helps stop the spread of germs. Some people who get sick with the new coronavirus will need to go to the hospital to get the right kind of help. Doctors and nurses in the hospital wear special suits so they don't get sick or spread germs. Most people who get sick with a virus get better. Some people become very sick from a virus and die. Doctors and nurses work hard to help sick people. When a person feels sick, it is important to call a doctor for advice. There are many things we can do to stay healthy, even when viruses are going around. One healthy habit is washing your hands with soap. So when you wash your hands in a sink, it is very important to use soap. Sometimes there are people that just use water, and that's not really helping at all. You need soap. And you really need to wash your hands with soap about 20 seconds. You can count to 20. Or you can sing a fun song if you'd like Happy Birthday a couple of times. Or the ABC song, or maybe one of your favorite songs. Everyone coughs and sneezes. A healthy habit for handling coughing and sneezing is to cover your mouth and nose with your elbow when you feel that tickle. Better yet, cough or sneeze inside a tissue. Then go wash your hands with soap and water. If you don't have soap and water nearby, you can always use Germs or hand sanitizer. Let's practice covering our mouth and nose if we're going to sneeze or cough. I knew you could do it. If you feel sick, Tell a grown-up. Sick people need to rest at home to get better. Staying home when you feel sick avoids spreading germs to your friends too. This little girl's ready to get on the bus. She's so ready to go to school. But she says, my head hurts. And her mom says, let's go home. Well, that's one of the symptoms of coronavirus. Maybe she has something else going on too as well. And maybe that's why Mama is thinking she doesn't need to go to school. Your community may decide to close crowded places for a while. This is another way to avoid spreading coronavirus. So sometimes we have online school like we're doing now, but we'll be starting in-person school in just a few weeks. You might have seen people wearing masks like the one a doctor wears. Or you might be wearing a mask yourself when you go out into public places. People wear masks for many reasons, and not everyone who wears a mask is sick with coronavirus. In some communities, everyone is wearing a mask or scarf outside the home for now to help stop coronavirus from spreading. This guy says he's wearing a mask because he's feeling nervous about germs right now. This guy says, my doctor told me to wear this mask. I take a medicine that makes it hard for my body to handle germs. And here's someone waiting in the waiting room at the doctor's office, says, I feel sick, and the doctor said I should come in for a checkup. I don't want to spread germs to other people waiting to see the doctor. We now have vaccines to protect us from viruses that made many people sick in the old days. We don't have a vaccine for the new coronavirus yet. Right now, all over the world, scientists are studying the coronavirus to try to find a cure for people who are sick or a vaccine to protect us from catching it. Until we have a cure or a vaccine for coronavirus, we need to work together to keep our community healthy. Health tips. Stay home if you feel sick and tell a grown-up how you feel. Number 2, wash your hands with soap often, especially when you come in from outside and before you eat and after you go to the bathroom. If you aren't near a sink, use hand sanitizer. Number 3, cough or sneeze in your elbow, or you can use a tissue, then go wash your hands. Number 4, try to avoid touching your face. Number 5, practice social distancing. Touch only people you live with and give everyone else a 6-foot personal space bubble. You or your family might be asked to practice social distancing to quarantine or to stay in isolation to avoid spreading coronavirus. While our routines may change because of coronavirus, these changes are only for a time. The season of this new coronavirus, like all seasons, will pass. And during the coronavirus time of staying at home a whole lot, this girl is using her imagination. She says, I don't see you. I'm in the enchanted forest. This guy is dancing. Okay? And these people are playing a game. So board games are fun and puzzles are fun. There are many ways to stay in touch with your friends and family when visits are put on pause because of the coronavirus. Right now, you may not be able to go see your grandma or grandpa because they're considered maybe high risk. And so you can FaceTime them or call them on the phone. Even when we are alone in our homes, in our hearts, we are in this together. This guy says every night at 7 p.m. we all go out on our balconies to cheer on the healthcare workers. Do you have any questions? Do you have any feelings you'd like to share? You might want to share with your parents the questions that you have about the coronavirus. All right. Thank you for letting me share this story with you.